Danielle, and welcome to this enchanted house. Cottagecore! So, my eventual plan for this channel was to cover different aesthetics after I kind of got my basics of my whole aesthetic thing going. But cottagecore, in the meantime, has just kind of blown up, and it was really one of the first ones I was going to talk about. I'm very much into it. Could say I was in the cottagecore before cottagecore was a word even, because for those of you who don't know, cottagecore is this sort of rustic aesthetic that takes its inspiration from European cottages. And it's also kind of gets lumped in with things like cozy core, farm core, grandma core. It's this idea of creating something that's cozy and homey and kind of away from the rest of the world and surrounded by nature. And originally I was just going to do sort of an overview of cottagecore. But there is so much out there now. Everyone was stuck at home, so it just seems to have become its own thing. And there's a lot of great videos out there explaining cottagecore, a lot of videos out there of people exploring cottagecore, which I think is awesome. So today I thought I'd do something kind of different from everything I've seen and talk about the 5 rules of cottagecore that you can break. So let's get started. Alright, so first of all, I should probably say that there's no rules of cottagecore. There's not some grand high council of cottagecorists sipping tea and deciding what's cottagecore and what's not. My fellow cottagecore enthusiast, I have called you here for the meeting of the Cottagecore Council on high. And our first matter is floral prints, yay or nay? The yays have it. But there's sort of some ideas, misconceptions I sometimes see, and I thought I'd go through with each one and talk about each one. So, number 1, you have to live in the cottage? Nope. No, you do not have to live in the cottage. I think this kind of comes from the confusion of aesthetic with lifestyle. When you think of aesthetic, you're thinking of a veneer that you can kind of apply to anything. Whereas with lifestyle, you're thinking of fundamental changes to your life. So, cottagecore is an aesthetic. It's a veneer. It's something you can apply no matter where you live or what you do. So, you don't have to live in a cottage. What the idea is to take wherever you're living now and make it feel like a cottage. Make it feel cozy, make it feel homey. And you can do that anywhere. And whether it's a small New York apartment, which is already the right size, or a normal house, or if it's just your bedroom, or it's just your dorm room, wherever you are, the idea is to take the aesthetic and apply it to yourself. And there's so many other ways you can apply it, like how you dress, just daily personal items, those type of things. So, don't have to live in a cottage. Also, leading us into rule number 2, you have to live in the woods. Nope, don't have to live in the woods or at a farm or anywhere like that. There is a definite part of cottagecore that's about connecting with nature, but there's lots of ways to do that without going out and living in the woods or going out and starting a farm or anything like that. First of all, since we are talking about aesthetic, it can just be as part of your motif. Floral patterns, ivy patterns, cute little animal friends. They're all things that you can do and help create that connection and create that reminder of nature for you in your daily life. If you want to get more elaborate, you can do things like have houseplants. Houseplants are super cottagecore, and they're great for your environment too. Plants help improve the air quality. You could do something like a window herb garden or some friendly houseplants. And I know people are like, oh, but I always kill houseplants. That's okay, that's how you learn. Start with one. Read up how to do it. Check on its water. Get in the habit of taking care of it, and maybe you'll surprise yourself. Finally, the other way you can connect with nature is you can go to nature. You can go to the park and take a walk. You can go outside into your street and find nature's all around. We have this idea that nature's over here and civilization's over here, when really, even big cities have nature in them. Plants still find a way, animals still find a way. If all the people left, that city get taken over by nature pretty quickly. So nature's there. You don't have to move to it to experience it. So on to rule number 3. You have to hand make everything. So in cottagecore, there is a definite emphasis on homemade and handmade and doing things yourself. And it's really admirable and really a great thing to do, but you live in the real world. You have a job, you have responsibilities, and that's okay. You need to take care of those things, and it's okay to buy things that you need. And you don't have to hand make everything. You do not have to bake bread fresh daily every day. You can do it on the weekend for fun, but also there are some great small mom and pop bakeries out there who would love your business and would love it if you came in and bought their fresh made bread daily. And you're supporting local business and getting homemade. Win-win. So you don't have to make everything. Making things is great, and finding time to make things is great, but don't feel like you have to make everything. It's great to support the artists out there. I mean, obviously we know, Etsy, obviously. But there's a lot of great artists you can find in places like Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all the social media. And I encourage you to do that. Which also brings me to rule number 4. Everything needs to be secondhand and vintage. Nope. Look, buying secondhand and vintage is great. I try to do it whenever I can, especially a lot of my furniture is secondhand vintage because A, I love old furniture and they don't make it like they used to. And B, it's better for the environment. But just like with making things homemade, it's impossible to do it with everything for everyone. The example I can give is, as someone who's plus size, it is real. I love going to thrift stores and looking through, but I have so much more limited selection than someone at a smaller size. There's a lot of things I just can't find, and sometimes you walk into a store like Torrid and they have this dress and you have a gift certificate and it's like that you got for your birthday, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna treat myself. So don't feel bad if you have to buy things new. I mean, especially if it's something that's you need, like an appliance or a car or anything. Like if you can buy it secondhand and you can find it secondhand, that's great. But that's not always possible. And so don't feel bad if you do. On to rule number 5. You have to follow traditional values. Husband does all the hard work, woman stays home, breaks the bread, straight relationship. No. Cottagecore, and this is where cottagecore kind of differs from a lot of the previous reinventions of this, is it's trying to take inspiration from the old, but bring it into the new. A lot of cottagecore, there's a big contingent that's queer, and cottagecore is sort of like this fantasy, this getaway, this like, wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to deal with the rest of the world and I could just be with the person I love in this little fantasy world. And likewise, cottagecore has no gender. Man, woman, non-binary, whatever you identify as, you can do cottagecore. And likewise, if you're a guy and you want to sew quilts and bake bread, go for it. And if you're a woman and you want to go out and plow the fields, go for it. There is no adherence to traditional values, at least in my version of cottagecore there isn't. I know there are people out there who like to use cottagecore as a way to entice people into some rather hateful lifestyles like trad wives and white supremacy. Oh, also, which brings me also to anyone, any heritage, any race can practice cottagecore. But anyways, so traditional values, totally out the window. We live in the 21st century now. cottagecores in the 21st century. So those are five cottagecore rules you can totally break. I hope that you go explore. I hopefully will do more cottagecore videos, and we'll maybe eventually do an overview one too. But I don't know. I just wanted to kind of get this out there. So, anyways, I hope you will go and explore this aesthetic and other aesthetics and find yours and make the world you want around you. And I hope you can, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, check me out on my social media, including Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.